Hey, good morning, everybody. We're doing a Tuesday tip. We're here with Linda with
Hi.
Painting in the Box. This is actually in our actual workshop. Those are actual people working in the background. I know this may sound really dumb, and like most of you know how to open a paint can, clean a paint can, all that good stuff. But Linda was just going to go through real quick kind of how you're supposed to clean these edges. So we took two really very old paint can sitting up on the shelf. This was actually from our 200, and you might want to get that stirred.
Definitely.
Let's go through that too. So this is pretty common. If you have a can sitting on the shelf for a long time, and this is a brand new can that's just sat up on our shelf. So we keep paint here a little extra just in case the store runs out. So I'll let Linda kind of take it away and kind of walk you through what she's doing.
You definitely want to get it stirred very well. Otherwise, when you put it upon your wall, you're going to have an unpleasant look because it won't be consistent. So make sure, depending on how long it has sat, if you painted one day and you need to do the second coat the next day, you don't have to stir it quite as long. But I would definitely recommend that you stir it until everything seems smooth and the same color.
And you can kind of see, I think when we opened that can, it was like the perfect example. Like you could see like two different layers of materials. The color layer settled towards the bottom, and then there was like your clear base layer that was up towards the top.
And also be careful not to hit your edges, because a lot of times there is things that debris that has dried along the side, even if it is new. See a little bit of rust from the can. Just be careful not to bump it and scrape it into your paint. Otherwise, you're going to be picking that out of your, paint as you roll. It's kind of frustrating.
And like take your time. Like this was a really old can. She's been stirring for a minute now.
Yep, my arm's tired.
Her arm's tired. I'm probably gonna move over to this side, and then I'll take over.
And this can here is, we've used a little bit out of it. Same thing.
Look at that.
How it's settled.
Look at that.
But
And that's pretty normal, right?
oh yeah, oh yeah.
So
Yep.
you can kind of see the two layers right there. So when you see this, your paint's actually not ruined, unless it's like, I mean, we've actually used paint that's what, 5, 6, 7 years old.
As long as it's kept in you have to keep it in a warm area. You can't let it freeze. And you don't want it to get too hot either. Nice places like your basement, on a shelf, if you can, or if you have a heated garage, that always works well. And here, this edge was somewhat wiped well, but either take like a rag, but take your brush and make sure that you completely get it out of the groove, because otherwise you're going to have a hard time keeping your lid sealed really well. And then if you don't, it leaves air gaps, and it's also very hard to get off, because I have taken a screwdriver before trying to get paint lids off. So it's a little frustrating. So we recommend that you really even wipe your lid off a little bit around the edge. Just take a paper towel, your brush, make sure you wipe all the way around. If you're real fussy, take a paper towel, wipe around the edge so you can still see what paint it is, especially on the lid. We don't have a label on this lid, but a lot of times we have labels that say what color it is. Keep your lids clean.
Yeah, and like I know that sounds like super rudimentary, but like for instance, like if I'm painting with this, I'm gonna just slop this on here real quick. This is pretty normal to see when you're done.
Especially when you're pouring.
We go into homes all the time where they just plop the lid on there, and like she said, like Linda said, like air gets under here, ruins the paint. Just take the time to clean that out like that.
Yeah.
And not as big as a deal, if you're if you're gonna throw the paint can away and you're just like using it for a little while, but like, and you can even, like she's got a
Take your paper towel.
That
gets a lot of it out of there, and it just makes it a lot easier just to reseal your paint for the next time.
Yeah, and then on the front of these lids, and it doesn't matter like what brand you're using. Let's see, this wasn't tinted. Let's see if this one's got it on it.
No.
Nope, both of these aren't tinted, but usually there's like a little sticker on there telling you what it is. A lot of times that'll get paint on it and you don't know what it is. So what we do is, now we're a little bit more systematized around here, so we've got these stickers that we put on the paint cans.
Here's one.
Oh, here we go. So here's one from Sherwin. You can kind of see it'll tell you the type of paint, sheen, color, all of that stuff. Here's a little fun one right here. These are actually the colorant codes, like to mix it. Every once in a while, like every few years, like let's say you use this color. What color is this? Simply White. This is actually a custom match, but every once in a while, let's see, like Sherwin, they'll like change the Simply White code. 5, 6, 7 years down the road, and you won't know it. So if you're going to touch up your house, repaint or something, look at these numbers right here and make sure they match on the paint that you're
Right, and then ask if
gonna
things
use.
are off a little bit, if you want to make sure that you get the closest match you can. Sometimes it's hard because of fading, everyday air quality, things like that make a difference. But there's also an order number at the top, and I think most paint companies have order numbers.
I think most paint companies probably have
Yeah.
order numbers. So what we do, like on our estimates and stuff, or like on our paint cans, we actually have a sticker. We put the order number on here, color, location, all of that stuff. You don't need a sticker in your house, but take a permanent marker, find a clean spot on the can or something like that and mark it. Makes it way easier because we go into those homes where maybe they have up to, I've seen like 20 paint cans.
Oh yeah,
before.
oh yeah. Yeah,
Nothing's
you like
marked.
color.
Nothing's marked, and it's really, really hard to find. So, let's see, what were we going over here? So just cleaning the tops, super, super important. It really, really goes a long ways. And,
Stirring well.
Yep, stirring
Before
well.
each coat, even in your paint tray, before you begin, if it's sat overnight or for a couple hours, paint does settle a little bit. So make sure that you stir it well, whether it's in a paint can or a paint tray or a paint trim bucket, just fix.
Yeah, like if you're cutting, we call it hat marking, but other
Yeah.
people like banding or something like
Banding,
that. Sometimes that occurs because like whatever you're cutting out of, like your cutting bucket versus like your roller tray,
Yeah.
they're not mixed well.
Yes.
And then like 5-gallon buckets, they use like in Sherwin, they use a little bit different base to make that paint because it's higher volume. So if you cut with your 1 gallon and you roll with your 5-gallon and you don't mix the two, you're gonna see a slight difference. And that's a lot of times where that comes from.
Especially your medium to dark colors, you'll find that a little bit more.
So anyways, hey, just thought we'd throw you a Tuesday tip with Joseph and Linda here. TJ's actually out of the office today, so we're covering for him. So we went over just stirring really well, keeping the top sealed, marking and labeling your paint, and then how to reorder some of that stuff. So have a fabulous day.